Duit is Misha Eoin o Bitesize Irish Gaelic. I'm Owen from Bitesize Irish Gaelic, and today I have a very special guest, Luis Miguel. He's in Pittsburg, right, Miguel? Duit?
Tam ceartagat, tam is a Pittsburgh ish.
An what? Agus tatu ag fálam na Gaeilge le tamil a bhfuil, cin uair a thosaigh tú?
Hosime an blian shokache.
If you keep listening to this interview, Luis's approach to learning a language, I think he's cracked it, or he's got some very nice advice for us anyway. So, Luis, anhfuil tú Somalia no cábhail tú
Tame ag over ish.
gobar? Cad a dhéanann tú ag obair?
Is garda mishe.
Well, like, did Irish seem at least unfamiliar to you when you saw it written down for the first time?
Immediately I know that it was to be read differently because I was like, okay, it can't, there's no way it can sound like that. so yeah, eventually when I started learning Irish, it was just a step-by-step process, but you just keep at it and eventually, you can wrap your mind around it.
So I'm intrigued a bit about the process because it can seem, I'm sure, to be a bit of work or like definitely a bit frustrating, right?
It can be frustrating, but it's just like anything. You just have to climb over the obstacles, and you know, it's. I think it's worth the effort, definitely.
How often in the past year have you been trying to learn?
Well, I try to do it at least every other day or every other, like 2 or 3 days. I'd say I study a little bit, like at least maybe 3 or 4 times a week. And I find that that's necessary in order to keep the things that I've learned fresh and not lose them. Um, and you really don't need to spend a lot of time doing it. Is the good thing.
Like,
Sometimes even just like 2 or 3 minutes, quick review of your last lesson is all you need, and that makes it easy for me because it's not terribly time consuming.
what do you say to people who say like Irish is like this language that I'll really never be able to hear on a daily basis? I don't live there. I don't know other uh, learners, and it's just too hard. Like, what do you say to those people?
Anything that's worth undertaking, which I think Irish is going to be more interesting if it's a little bit more challenging.
Mm,
And I would say Irish is challenging, but I wouldn't go so far as to label it too difficult.
yeah.
Uh, and honestly, I'd say it's fun. It's challenging and it's fun, and it's very rewarding when you see yourself make progress. And I'd say it's worth the effort.
Hmm. Um, with people, when you're learning and you basically don't have other learners around you, like, what do you do if you've some kind of grammatical question or phrase question that's just blocking you? Like, do you just do a search online or?
I use any resource I can. One thing that's really useful is there are various Irish dictionaries online,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I use various Irish dictionaries. I'll look things up and just keep at it until I can figure out what something means.
Mm. One dictionary I like in particular is focal.ie, focal.ie, and it's like more of a term dictionary, so it's a nice one for searching through. Yeah.
Mm.
Um. So to kind of finish off, like you haven't been to Ireland, I take it.
Never been to Ireland, no.
Do you ever plan to, or is this just a thing out of interest for you, learning the language, or?
Let's put it this way: there's no immediate money.
Ah, I know the feeling. So to finish off, let's say the person watching this, um, they were interested in the language. They're interested in Ireland's culture. Let's say,
Mhm.
let's assume that. but it's feeling a bit too overwhelming. Like it's not really worth it to dip too far into learning the language, and they'll probably will never end up learning to speak the language. Statistically, I don't have anything against any one watcher person watching this video. So, what's one piece of advice you'd give a person who's just dabbled in a bit of Irish now to get them over that line?
Well, I would definitely point out that I'm glad that I did not give up, and I would encourage people to think about, how rewarding it would be to learn that new language and be able to say that you accomplished that. It really is rewarding and it's worth the effort. And like I said, I don't think it's too difficult. If I can do it, I think anyone else can.
Yeah, gehunta fad. Well, Luis, gurumina mahagut as the kodama kahablion.
Got a mahagat fame.
Yeah, fiber bit. Agus Abroy Meladini a fake and shot. I'll tell people who are watching this. I want them to come over to Bitesize Irish Gaelic.com, and there's a free trial there. They can sign up for the free trial and try out some Irish lessons, which has like thousands of audio recordings. Yep, there you go. We'll leave it at that. Luis Guramina Mahagut.
Got a mahagat fame.
Slán Tamil. Slán.
Slán.